Hello there, Sir from 17 once again. This is my Dishonored 2 very hard ghost walkthrough. This is mission 5, the Royal Conservatory. This is not a tricky mission, but this is a mission that drove me absolutely insane when I was recording it for stupid reasons, and admittedly, I'm the stupid part of those reasons, which I'm perfectly fine with now. But at the time, I was hating this game. Absolutely hating it. So let me give you some background, shall we? I did my practice run of this game pretty much on stream. And when I stream and I interact with the chat, my brain goes into autopilot. So I couldn't remember that I picked up a lens in the woman's office before I did the pacifist way of getting rid of her. So when I got to this level, in about 5 to 10 minutes, I stealthed all the way to the target. I went up to the machine and touched it, and it didn't work. And I couldn't for the life of me figure out why. So I was like, do I have to do the side mission to get that information off that dude so that that machine will register and do the pacifist kill? So I got really mad because I'd got such a good path, and I decided to restart the level. And then I found out that the game doesn't have a restart, so I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? So I stealthed all the way out of the mansion, all the way back to the beginning, went and talked to that dude, went all the way back through the level again, got to him, and it still wouldn't work. So I had to go and watch my own live stream to see what I did differently, to realise that I picked up that lens, because I'd completely forgot I did it, and I was pissed off. So that's why this exists. Notice how on the screen you can see the target's symbol. It's because I've come all the way back through the level. I'm going to show you a path now to get into the building, to talk to the machine that gives you the information, just in case you wanted to do it for some reason. I don't know if you have to do this, but what I can confirm is if you do not listen to this machine, it doesn't populate your map with the Oraculum machine as a waypoint. That being said, I don't know if you can sequence break it and just grab the lens anyway and tamper with the machine and get the pacifist kill, because I didn't try it, I didn't think to try it. What I can confirm as well is every single code for any kind of safe or door that is pertinent to the plot in this game is randomized. Because I remembered the code on mission 7 to get through the door, and I did it before going and getting the combination, and it didn't work. So you have to get the combination. If you want a really cheeky way of doing it, I don't know if this works, but it's an idea to play with. Save at the door, go and get the combination, and then reload at the door and put the combination in and see if it's the same. Because I get a feeling that it won't be. I think touching the very item that gives you the code probably populates the code in the world. But it's definitely something to think about if you want to play around with the systems. Anyhow, now that we've listened to that, I can make my way back to where we were. And I just apologise, guys, that I couldn't get this to look how I wanted, because all I wanted to do was restart, but I didn't have a save at the beginning of the level, and that's why I'm telling you to hard save at the beginning of every level just in case. It's really frustrating that it doesn't have such an option. It seems very silly to me. But it's just the way the game is, I guess, and it sucks. It does. It really sucks. But it's my fault. I should have saved, and I forgot to. So, I can't hold it too much against other people, even though I did at the time. This mission took, I think, about 2 hours to record, and it's not a tough mission. I did it faster on my stream when I had no idea even how to do it. It just goes to show you can have those weird moments that affect you for no real reason, but back into the fray, back on the same path that we used before, and then we're going to go and get this mission done. So, sorry about the detour, but it had to be done because I wanted to show you the reason why the footage might be a bit weird. Because to get it to look right, I ran all the way back to the start of the level as if I'd started, and then on the HUD you can see the target. It's like, what? How come you can see the target on your game? I already anticipated the questions and the comments that you inevitably get, so that's why I put the detour in, and that's indeed why I explained it. But get on top of this building here, and then we're going to be doing a very interesting blink coming up. So if you blink on top of the spikes, you will take damage. You want to blink just in front of them, but not too far in front, because you'll fly off and then you'll fall 20 stories and die or wherever, which is not fun, of course. And then The roof across from us to the right has a woman on it who never reacts to the player, even on this difficulty, so I don't know if she's friendly, I don't know who she is, but she's a genius because she's never bugged me once. And then now we get to do a running blink, which is always fun, but do not save on top of this tower unless you're going to do the trick I'm going to show you. So in Dishonored 2, if you hold a blink and then you save, weird things happen. So put your blink on top of the part of that royal sign that is not spiky but is curved, and you want to wait until you see the symbol that shows that you will land on it, which is the orb and then the circular magical impression below it. You'll have to move forward a little bit, which means stepping on top of this railing, but you should be able to get it from about on top of the railing, from about here. So if you see that, hold blink, press start, and then quick save. You want to make a hard save before this too, just in case this messes up. Then quick load, and watch what happens. Watch where I am. I'm on the complete opposite side of that fence on the wall. And when you load in, you need to hold back or you'll fall. Because when you fall, you take damage. But did you see when I loaded in that people saw me? Nobody's near me, nobody can see me, and I'm too high for anybody to be able to if they could. So why the hell did it tell people where I was frequently just then? That's the weird thing about this game when it loads in. It makes no sense. But did you see what we did? We completely jumped from top of that tower, past the fence, to the building on the other side, which is where we need to be. And what did I do, guys? I held a blink and I saved. And because of the weirdness of this game, it completely boots you forward. And it works every time. And I found that by accident, because all I wanted to do was get on top of the bit that didn't have spikes, so I didn't take any damage, because I'm going for no damage. And then I saved to make a backup, and didn't realise I was holding blink, and boom, I teleport. And there's probably a million uses for that particular type of feature that speedrunners are going to use to destroy this game. And here's me struggling with the blink detection. Because this can't... you can do this. I know you can do this. Come on, game. Please detect. There it was, fleetingly. Like, why is it so finicky? I don't get it. You would think that the guy would grab things as well to make the blink less finicky, but he will not grab things. He refuses to grab stuff. And I've come off a game called Titanfall 2 where the dude grabs everything, you know? It just feels weird, but it's very deliberate, so it's designed, you know? Anyhow, move into this grand library, and you need to go on top of where the owls are. I'm going to show you the machine now. There's two women patrolling here. The one woman there and the one woman there. They will synchronize so that they're both not looking at the machine to give you an opening, but I can't do the machine just yet. I'm going to show you where it is, and then I'm going to show you where to get the lens. Because this is still at the point where I didn't realize why it wasn't working, hence the transition just then. So, from here, climb on top of the bookcase. From here, you can either go on top of the owls, or you can go on top of the chandeliers, it's up to you. And then from that position, we're going to go onto the ascended balcony just up there. And this can be oftentimes a tricky blink depending on where you are, so use a better vantage point to get it. But be aware, when you're on these owls, occasionally those witches will see you, so you want to be careful. I'm going to stand up here to blink up to the top, and then we're up here, and now we can grab the lens from the woman's office. Never open that woman's door. If you open the door while she's praying to that statue, not only will the statue see you, but the two dogs will see you too, and it's almost an instant alert. I made that mistake on my first run. There, that is the lens you need. Now, all we need to do is put it in the machine and then pull that handle. And here's a tip, guys, if you're struggling with this like I did because you've forgotten how the mission works. If you press that switch and it doesn't go to a cutscene, you've messed up, because it means you haven't used the lens correctly, or you don't have the lens. When you pull the switch, you should never have to evade instantly to get away from a million witches coming to see what you've done, because that means that you haven't done the scripted sequence correctly. But now we have the lenses, we wait for this area to free up, we put the lenses in, and then we hit the switch. I'm tentative right now, and I don't need to be because nobody can see me. Press the switch, Chris, you've done it. And then once the lenses have calibrated, it goes to this cutscene. This cutscene means you've won, and then after it, it gives you a few seconds to get away. So immediately blink up onto the chandelier above us. Chandeliers are pretty top tier in this game, so use them, and use it right now. I don't think any of the other witches can see you at this point, because I think they do they despawn? Do they leave? I'm not too sure, but You get a lot of flexibility after that cutscene, which is good. And now we have to go inside the office and read the piece of document that's going to tell us where to go. So throughout this walkthrough, you might wonder, well, Chris, why do you wait on objects before you blink? And you probably already know because you've played the game, you get how it works. But if you're just new to the series and you're wondering why I do that instead of being fast, I'm waiting for my magic to regenerate so that I don't waste it. Because if you blink before it's finished regenerating, you will use a second use of it, and it will continue to diminish your bar. Normally, you have a full bar to play with. I don't right now. I have one use, so I have no choice but to wait. But it doesn't matter. If my bar was full, and if my bar is empty, I choose to wait because it's the best way to use blink, in my opinion. The whole point of that bar is to give you panic uses. And that is why it confuses me why the game doesn't fill it when you go back to the whale. I don't get that. To me, it seems like an oversight. Maybe it's because it's on the hardest difficulty. You know, I'm not entirely sure. I wish this game would give you something for playing on very hard, because the game is a lot harder. And if Ghost had to be done on very hard, this walkthrough would be needed. But unfortunately, everybody that does Clean Hands, Ghosts, and all those other ones, they do it on easy. They pop it on the lowest difficulty, and then they run through the game effortlessly, and then they get those achievements, and there's no way to differentiate between what you've done if you did it on the hardest difficulty and what they've done. And to me, that's the fundamental flaw with achievements and trophies. You don't have to achieve them half the time. Half the time they can be cheated, and the other half of the time they can be cheesed. And it would be really nice if that difficulty, if that achievement said, very hard, only on very hard. Because to me, doing the entire game without being spotted is a big thing. It should be celebrated. It should be something where people go, Jesus, you did that? I bet that took ages. But it doesn't mean shit, because if they do it on fucking easy, an elephant could do it. Like, and that's not to diminish anybody's achievement, you know. If you went through the game without being spotted, you went through the game without being spotted, congratulations. But there's a big difference between doing it on very hard and doing it on very easy. If very easy exists, I don't really know. And I personally, if I was making an achievement list, what's the point in putting a challenge run in there if people can do the challenge run on baby mode? That to me sounds like just the brain doesn't work at that point. This is interesting too. The good part about this, you know, the magical archway that teleports you, is that it's got this wonderful box on it. It's got some random like subwoofer on it, and I don't entirely know why. So you can stand on it to get that way if you want to, but I'm a bit undecided right now. I think I'm going to go this way, so I'm going to blink just in front of the spikes, and I'm going to hold backwards. I do this because as I fall, I can clip against the fence, and hopefully against something that will stop me from taking fall damage. And I don't think I did it correctly. Nope. Didn't do it correctly at all. But once again, the blink showed me past the fence, didn't it? Why am I not past the fence? So, another tricky blink, land on the lip, and then there you go. So, didn't it look like that fall was quite high, but it didn't seem to damage me? There are times when I fell from a similar height and I've taken damage. I don't really know what, you know, dictates and constitutes why that happens. But that right there is a good example of the flexibility of blink. So usually blinking into the void is a bad idea because you don't know where you're going to land. But I've done that a few times when I've gone over that fence and I've managed to clip on the railing on the other side, and it's saved my ass. So when in doubt, guys, experiment. Play with blink. Blink is meant to be used, and it's meant to be used creatively. Watch this, by the way. Do you see that? Blink said then that I was going to land on that. It did the circle, it said there was geometry to land on, and then I didn't land on it. And that time I did the same thing, and I landed on it. Hit and miss. Admittedly, I think there's two pieces of geometry here and a gap in between them, and I might have landed perfectly in the gap, but it shouldn't happen. And speaking of shouldn't happen, that blink just then is quite tricky too, so hold back again so you don't go too far and you don't fall off the roof. The moment your blink regenerates, blink on top of this building. I've done that about 6 times on my first run, and I never fell off that roof. Then when I was recording, I did it about 4 times, and 3 times I fell off the roof. The game sometimes just does different things. And I really don't like saying that, because a lot of the times when people say that, it's them. You know, human error is almost always at fault when it comes to a lot of things, but every so often it is the game, and I've tested this enough to confirm that it isn't me, as much as I make mistakes, and I make more mistakes than anybody else, because through mistakes you find these awesome things, and there are just moments where, you know, it's like insanity. You're chasing insanity, you're chasing the same result, and then boom, it's different. So it's like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Have I gone insane? I don't understand. But that's how the game works, and once you realise that the chaos can just come out of nowhere, you can start to use the chaos. But look how long that took. 55 minutes on a 10-minute level. I was angry. Really angry. Thank you for watching. You take care now.